Strawberries. See how nice and ripe that is right there?
Yes.
That's ready for picking. See?
Yes.
And this one here is not quite ready. See, it's still ripening on the vine here. So we have some nice strawberries coming in. And you see the smaller ones here? Where were they? Never were the smaller ones? Maybe it was that one.
Yes.
You see those?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, see how green this one is?
Yes.
This one still has to sit here for a while so it can ripen up. See how this one is starting to turn pink?
Yes.
And then it'll get red like this one that we have on this one. And that's when we want to pick it, when it's nice and red and juicy, right?
Yes.
So these green beans right here, I see a couple of flowers on them.
Uh-huh.
So those are going to turn into fruit.
Yeah, it's going to turn into green beans, and you know, it'll take a while yet for them to.
So this is oregano?
This is oregano, so we're going to kind of pretty up the pots. And mainly we planted this to attract pollinators, because oregano is one of those plants that they just love.
And a pollinator would be like a bee or
a bee or a bird or a hummingbird. So those are the kind of pollinators and butterflies that we want to bring into the garden. In the
grocery store?
So they have some that are the curly kale. Some is just the regular standard kale that you find. This might be the Russian, but I'm not exactly sure. We just planted you know, the kale seeds that we have.
And normally I would say, like in a grocery store, you might find one or two different kinds. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah. Here we have our eggplants that are starting to come up, as well as that box there. We had some spinach in here before, but we pulled all that.
And spinach is that more of a colder crop or an earlier crop?
It's an earlier crop that you can plant.
And so for the boxes, if I'm understanding correctly, you might use one garden box and have a couple different crops per season?
Yes. Yeah, especially with the lettuce and the scallions. Like this is our second planting of scallions. We planted about 4 weeks ago. We were able to harvest the scallions, and we planted more.
And Michelle, which agencies do you donate to?
We've donated to the Open Door Food Pantry, to New Life Mission, because they feed people every day. They feed lunch to our residents. We've donated to the Community Meal Center. Right now, they're still shut down because of COVID-19, but we donate to them. We donate to food rescue organization called G Food, and they actually get produce in that would otherwise go to, you know, the waste bin, and they recycle food.
All right, so we're looking at a box here that has cabbage on one side.
We have cabbage on this side. We had kale planted on this side. The kale didn't do so well, so we just kind of pulled that out. It came up in spurts, and it could have been any number of things. Either the seed may have been a little older. We got a lot of water, so it may have been waterlogged with the seed. So we're gonna try again, and that's what happens when you're gardening. Sometimes you get crop, and sometimes you don't. But we can't give up. We just replant and try again.
So you grew watermelons last year for the first time?
Yes.
And then there was a trick that you told me about how to figure out when they are ripe.
Okay, so I found out that once you have your water, there's actually a couple things I found out. One, you do not need a lot of water for watermelons. Once they set fruit, you stop watering them. Never knew that. You would think, because I was trying to drown them. The second thing is once you have them to the point where they're a full fruit and you're not really sure if they're ripe, you watch the vine up to that bloom, and it just comes out like that, and this thing will curl away, shrivel, and die. When that dies, your fruit's ready.
They can all be grown in Ohio. So they're strawberries, spinach, kale, nectarines, apples, grapes, peaches, cherries, pears, tomatoes, celery, and potatoes.
Yeah. And we're gonna actually plant some potatoes back here too. Sweet potatoes. But we have trees planted over there. We have peach, apple, and pear trees planted over here too in the fruit orchard over here where the strawberry patch is. I'll show you those as well.
Wow.
And here's another over here.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
But those won't be ready for a couple months now.
Oh yeah, it's gonna take a while for those. And this is how much I've taken off so far. See, like right here. So I just pulled that off. It smells so good. Can you smell it?
Yeah, basil's the best.
Oh yeah.
I planted 5 rows of corn in the far north side of the garden because you always plant your tallest plants in the back of the garden so that doesn't shade the rest of your garden. We planted 5 rows, 33, so let's say 150 or so. Each one of those are going to give you 3 to 4 ears of corn per. So you're going to get somewhere between 450 and 600 ear of corn off of those 5 rows. What I'll do probably in another 3 or 4 days, I want to give that corn about 10 days to get established. I'll plant 5 more rows. That way I have corn later into the season because I've started it twice.
Okra, which is not, everybody's not a big fan of okra, but once you've had it fresh and you've made it from scratch, then it's amazing. I'm going to do okra, then I'm going to do watermelon, and in the shade of the watermelon, I'm going to do more salad greens. It was a learning process. I really wish that I could have found a place like this at the beginning because, like, he's going to be putting in sweet potato slips tomorrow. I've never done that. The only thing I thought sweet potato slips were for was decorating your railings. I never took it to the point of food. I'd see the sweet potato slips and I'd be like, oh yeah, that'll make a great vine. Well, it makes great food if you know how to do it. Since I've never done it before, I said, hey, would you let me know when you're going to plant it so that I can come in and learn how you do it? So I'm going to be learning sweet potato slips. Square foot gardening is this.
Okay. So what some people might call like a...
You may not have tillable land,
Okay.
but you can take a heavy duty box like this, and you see this is only, what, about 6 inches deep? And you would be amazed at how much food this space can produce. And when you've got a square foot garden box, you control the nutrients that are in that box by the way you set it up. So you can get an enormous amount of food. And if you go online, you'll see, you can just type in square foot gardening tomatoes or what type of tomatoes, and it'll tell you how many you can get in a square foot garden. The composting, I've learned so much about that. I started a worm farm. This year I got a bunny. I'm going to have 3 bunnies total for composting. Not to mention they're affectionate and they think they're a dog. But all you do is collect the poop and that's it. But I get the satisfaction of growing. I get the satisfaction of getting some of my harvest. And the other side of it is probably 2/3 of that box would go to the food pantry or somebody that needs the food. So for me, that gives my... When you start gardening, it's kind of a self-pride kind of thing, and you're like, oh, I can do this and I can do that. And then after a while, you kind of get blasé about it, but this is like the next step. Oh, I can do this, and I can feed other people. And that right there, I think, is the huge difference for me, because it's something I made. You know, it's just like if you come in here, they say, oh, you go ahead and pick all these, and you can have a pint. Yeah, that's great, because at the end of the day, when you've picked all these pints for people and you take a bite of that strawberry, you realize what's going to happen when that gets in the hand of somebody that didn't see it coming, that didn't know that this started in the spring and this is how you get all this wonderful food. And it's not a business, it's a charity.
It's really going to depend on human resources. More than anything else, we need volunteers. With the right amount of volunteers, we should be able to get somewhere between, because the berries are coming in this year, 3,000 to 4,000 pounds. We've already given away 80 pounds of scallions, 5 pounds of lettuce, 6 pounds of strawberries already.